Hi guys, sorry, Stephanie here. Thanks very much for organizing this. Just in my past experiences, I just think it's much more fun when your data and everything. If you don't speak, if you don't actively participate on a constant basis, it's easier to go on mute and stop video because you can always still see whoever is talking, but they then switch on the video. It's just I've had experience with it. And if everyone is on a video, it's just the whole thing goes haywire at some point. Especially when this is lucky, this is still a small group, but if the group does get bigger and stuff, I found that it's quite exhausting if everyone chips in because you know you can even hear the little mouse click or you can hear little hair fluffing out and it's really disruptive on the noise. So in my opinion, I'm going to switch mine on mute because then I can hear you guys better.
All right, 100%.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. We are live now, so welcome everyone. Today we've got Michelle McLean-Bailey joining us to chat about what's been happening around the world and to talk about them being Namibian brand ambassadors and see how we can all work together to get Namibia back on the map for tourism, since we are the first country now to have almost a month without cases. So we can start with the introduction of the team, which is Yvonne, Joseph, Heiko, and then everybody can start introducing themselves. We're going to start with EES.
Oh, why me? Okay. Yes, Jong. I'm calling live from Germany. I'm stuck here. I wanted to go to Namibia to celebrate my honeymoon in March, and just a week before the country closed, so everything was stopped. Yeah, we have the same issues since you have in Namibia as well, just that we have been almost forced to walk around with masks a little bit longer maybe. So we got used to the mask thing already, yeah. Nam boy doing music and spreading Nam flavor style.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, Rupesh, you need to say something because otherwise I keep talking.
Sorry, I was muted. Michelle.
Hi, my fellow Namibians, my brothers and sisters. So I'm here live from Miami. It's just, I am absolutely honored to be here, and I want to commend you guys for creating this platform and for the positivity that Namibia has been sharing over the last couple of weeks. I've followed it and I'm just super, super impressed with all of you and just grateful to be here to add some value. In the last few months, I started Africa's Finest Safaris, which is a tourism marketing specialist company, together with my partner, Janine van der Merwe in Namibia. We are actively geared up and ready to make sure that visitors come from the US. We're marketing Namibia as a destination, and obviously all the properties in Namibia and the tour operators, and we're just excited to get going. From an American perspective, so we've had a lockdown now for over 8 weeks. I am climbing the walls literally, but I'm trying to stay sane. And you guys have all kept me sane because it's really kept me in tune with what's happening in Namibia. And once again, your positivity is incredible. We've got to keep this up. So we walk around here, we're allowed to walk around, but we have to wear masks. We're not allowed to go into the water, the beaches are closed. So it's similar to you. Alcohol is being sold. So there are still parties all over Miami.
Lucky.
At a distance. But the American psyche is very much that as soon as this lockdown finishes, people are going to travel. And that is the information I'm getting from the travel industry here, from ASTA, from APTA. I belong to all the associations here. And although they're not committing to saying anything, there is really an upbeat and a positive vibe going on. So, but America still has not revealed when and how we're going to open up our borders. So that just, is a little bit of a discrepancy. But I think that it'll be sooner rather than later.
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. I mean, if we can just get a quick introduction from everyone else. John, then Emiliano, Jens.
Okay. Hi, guys. Good afternoon. Nice to see you guys all here. Well, yeah, my name is John. I run the Samawati hot air ballooning and we do hot air balloon flights over in Solitaire area, and we've also got a partner in Sokobund. Yeah, so I'm just joining in, and obviously we are part of it in an activity sector, but yeah, it all gels in together.
Okay, thank you, John.
I'll go.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, John. It's Emiliano here, running a tour operator, HP Safaris, and also representing different associations like Tour Guide Association of Namibia, TASA, an executive member of TASA, and FENATA as well.
Thank you, Emiliano.
Yeah, thank you, Emiliano.
Thank you, Emiliano. Jens?
All right. Well, I'm Jens. I represent Travel Channel Namibia, a relatively new addition to the marketing platform in Namibia. So I'm extremely sort of impressed with what has been happening on this platform here, and the collaboration effort that has taken this great momentum, and just jumped on it. So I'm very happy to be on the platform sharing it with Michelle and Yves. I haven't seen either of you for a long time. And the rest of the team I've listened to in the last few presentations here. So thanks very much. I'm looking forward to a very invigorating and immersive conversation.
Thank you very much, Jens. Can we hear something from Nadia, and then Prosper, Michelle?
Hi. So I'm Nadia LaRue, and I've kind of jumped on board with this. I work in the community-based natural resource management sector. So I'm working with rural communities, looking after their wildlife, where a lot of the tourism operators are operating. And I work in large carnivore conservation around Namibia, particularly on African wild dogs. So kind of just representing the community-based tourism.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nadia.
Right, I think I'm next, yeah? Yeah. All right, hi, everyone. To some of you, I need no introduction. We've met a couple of times. But welcome to Michelle and Yves. Hope you guys are doing great. It's nice to hear from people that are outside the country. Yeah, my name is Prosper, and I work for the Tour and Safari Association of Namibia. As some of you may know, we represent mainly the tour operators, tour facilitators. We do have affiliate members who are your car rental companies, a couple of lodges who have tour divisions and so on. And we also have associate members, which are companies that are involved in tour operations, locally, regionally, and internationally. So, Michelle, I'm happy to hear that you are working on tour operations all the way from the United States. I think we could possibly discuss some opportunities in the near future. I'll be waiting to hear from you guys on, what's coming through from that side. But yeah, that's me. I trust that everybody's doing well.
Hey, Prosper, I just wanted to say and clarify, we are not tour operators. We're a marketing specialist company, but we will look at tour operators. Just to make sure you understand.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay, Michelle. Thanks, Prosper. Thanks a lot.
Which Michelle? You have to specify.
No, Michelle
Supermodel
Becker.
or me? I'm currently in the UK. I own Events Link Africa and also Conference Link. I'm associated with Conference Link and Food Namibia. So I hope to hear more from all of you, and nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you too.
Thanks. Nice to meet you too.
Likewise,
Thanks a lot.
Michelle.
Stephanie.
Internet in Namibia, huh?
Nice to see you all. So I represent the National Namibia partners. So National Namibia is also a marketing group, and under which we have Weinberg, guys. I'm also not a reservation officer, so I am doing the sales and marketing specific for these partners.
I think
Thank you very much,
Rupesh,
Stephanie.
you need to
yes,
repeat that
I have
for
a
us.
quick request, Rupesh. I didn't
yes.
really hear. I didn't really
I think
hear Stephanie very well. I don't know. Maybe it's a mic
I think the microphone
thing.
is quite low there.
Is it? Because
Yes.
I really couldn't hear anything. Stephen, would you mind just going over that again? Sorry.
Yeah, I had the same problem, man. Can't hear
Same
properly.
here. I couldn't hear anything either.
Definitely very, very soft.
Sorry, hi all. Can I just jump in? I think Stephanie was saying, and I've done the Zoom calls also, it's actually better if all the videos are off and the person who's speaking just goes on, because then it causes a lot of friction.
Okay, but I think for now it works. Yeah,
Is this better?
Yes,
much better.
Much better.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, put on the cables. Okay, so once again, hi guys, thank you very much for this time. Michelle, lovely to see you again. Is my friend away. Thank you for sharing all of your love and your vibes. It's pretty cool. So I work for Natural Namibia. I represent 8 partners in the tourism industry, including Weinberg, Okonjima, Mushara, Ongava Game Reserve, the Big Sky Properties, then Villa Margarita and Swakopmund, Namib Sky Ballooning, and Skumansgate and Coast Safaris. So I am not involved in any reservations or so. I just purely do the marketing and assist with any product training to both local and international agents.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Well, good.
I could hear you perfectly, yes.
Okay, great.
Much better.
And then I think the only person left is, I don't know the name because it's Pickering. Is Miss Pickering?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm going to spare you my video image because my lockdown look is not great. I'm homeschooling, so I'm feeling very traumatized in all ways possible. But I'm Patricia Pickering. I'm the general manager for leisure. So that's Midgard Country Estate, Makuti Itasha Lodge, Strand Hotel Swakopmund, and Chobe Water Villas. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what we have to share with each other this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Okay, the first question, one of the points that we wanted to chat about was, using local tourism to also help the local communities, because we're lucky enough to have most of the lodges and campsites on the platform. How can we use the network we have to help the communities now, seeing that a lot of local investors, local donations are going to stop for a few months? I mean, yeah, if you guys have any ideas, I mean, Michelle, you've also worked with a few trusts and, you've done that a lot.
I think, I've been working on the concept of representing certain lodges in Namibia for the future. And with the American mindset of always traveling, the conscious traveler is so much the American mindset. They're big philanthropists. So when our tours start coming through to Namibia, that experience is now the new luxury experience. So I'm speaking from an outside perspective, not a local perspective right now. But once that starts transferring to travelers coming to Namibia, you're going to see a real upswing in the local communities that, the various lodges that have projects in the local communities, whether it's education, conservation, whatever it is, you're going to have a real, I think, influx of people that really want to not only experience, but leave a legacy of their own. So we're working on that as a marketing company because that's the mindset of the American. But I think now for the local community, we have a big enough infrastructure in Namibia to support the local communities. And we know what happens when a local community is not supported, not educated, when poverty levels drop to really, really low levels. We know that the society breaks down. So we do need to stand together with whatever resources we have. It might not be money. It might just be the opportunity to go there and interface with the communities and tell them, give them hope, give them some guidance, you know, what they can do. And certainly, obviously, donations at this point. I think any donations to various groups is going to be so important. And we need to get, I think, the population in Namibia, the middle-class people, the people that do have money. Yes, everyone's watching their dimes right now, but we need to get them to understand that if they don't support the local communities throughout Namibia, we are going to see an even worse problem in our economy. So maybe just, you know, have campaigns that, you know, go into the schools again and go into the business community, whereby people can start actively even traveling to certain areas, to know that by traveling to those areas, you are supporting the communities.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We all agree with that. And you know, this is why we wanted to hear it from you as well. So a lot more people, you know, they know this is the same principle that works in most of the countries. Local tourism has not just effect on the lodge, it's the community, it's the people on the ground. Might feed some families for maybe a day or two more.
I'm sorry.
Ease would, yes, sorry.
Crosstalk. I just wanted to reiterate what I was saying there about your, you know, from having the Michelle McLean Children Trust for so many years and interfacing with different communities throughout Namibia, when you get to physically be there, you give them a sense of hope, and because they're so isolated in these areas. So it's not just about the money, it's actually about getting there and engaging with them and giving them a sense of hope and a little bit of direction.
Absolutely. Ease, would you have any comments on that, or would you want to? You're muted.
Oops, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, 1, 2, check. So I've experienced similar things, which Michelle just talked about, when you actually go to those communities and you give a couple of motivational speeches and you just show them that they are not alone and that Namibia is one big country with very different types of people, but we are all Namibians. So that really helps. I mean, why did the tourism industry, the way it is, suddenly change and say, listen, okay, now we need local people because we don't have any international people coming to Namibia anymore. And then you saw online people were complaining, yeah, now we are good enough to come to your lodges and what. But I think it was just a normal thing that the prices of the lodges were going higher and higher because there were so many tourists. So people were living well. And now this whole nature came about. So nature's up and down. And now it's balancing things again, and local people have the opportunity to go to these lodges and see and travel what Namibia is all about. Yeah, I'm more focused on how to get Namibia as a destination really popular. Like, we are already popular and we were rising, but I want, when this, like Michelle said, when this crisis stops, I want Namibia to be on top. Like, people must see so many videos and so many inspirational photos and stories of Namibia that they say, okay, I've never went there, or I remember 10 years ago when we were in Namibia, let's go there again. So that is my vision for Namibia.
Well, if I can step in there, I want to add that I think what I'm hearing more is finding a way to be very inclusive in our approach in everything we're doing. So nobody's left out, and no portion is, or no stone is left unturned. And what I mean by that is, I think the time has come really for tourism to not just be focused on one specific point or one specific market, because I like what is mentioned now, the complaints that came through Facebook, people saying no, so now we're good enough, but before we were not, and so on and so forth. That's coming from a people that felt left out. So the more we can be inclusive, and some will find a way to merge our markets, because for most of you on this platform who has been in tourism for a while, you know that we're focused for a very long time on the inbound market. We're focused on having people outside the country travel in, specifically from Europe, you know, to experience Namibia. I think it's time we shouldn't totally leave that, you know, and say, okay, for now, let's move to the local market, because what's going to happen is after things start to come to some form of a normal setup or back to normal again, you will find that it will be easy to abandon the people again or the local market, and then we go back to what we were used to doing. And I think we need to be careful that our approach moving on, this needs to work as a wake-up call for everybody, that we need to really work hard at finding a way to be very inclusive. What I mean by this is there are many markets that were untouched, right? So apart from reaching out to our general European markets for the most part, obviously with the Americas and a couple of other parts of the world that we've got a bit of a foot in, I think that we need to include our local market with the same passion, right? And then we include all these markets. So we're pretty much, I like what he's saying, after this, let's make Namibia so popular. There must be so many inspirational videos. There must just be so much positive material coming out. But this material, I think, really needs to aim at sending the message that we are a country that does not take anyone or anything for granted, you know, really spread that word of unity and all of us working together. Because right now, the truth is that there are still people that feel like tourism is not their thing, you know, and I think let this work as a wake-up call for us to change that and really include everybody in the process. And reaching out to people, I think, you know, our presence in the communities will also make a big difference, because for many people right now, believe it or not, they have no idea what tourism is. They don't understand it. And somebody mentioned just earlier that we could have a bigger problem after we manage to get our market running again, that some people who will be out of jobs, they could then become part of the challenges, because if they don't understand what we are trying to achieve, they will work against it, not intentionally, but sometimes just because they don't understand or they don't know. What I mean by that is I wouldn't expect a taxi driver, right, in central town to treat a tourist different to how they would treat a local if they don't understand the value of the tourist. But also, if we help them to understand that the tourist is not just somebody who's wearing khakis with a backpack and definitely looks like they are not from here. A tourist can be anybody that gets into your taxi, even your neighbor, because they are, you know, adding to your income and so on and so forth. These are some of the simple concepts about tourism and how it works that are not well understood. So I agree with our presence in the different communities to figure out ways to engage people, to figure out ways to engage everyone. You know, talking on platforms like this is a good start. It's a great thing. I think we just need to figure out how can we take it to the next level.
While on that, I see that Nadia has her hand up, and I think let's keep it to the fact that we want to engage in our local tourism as Lekker platform, and that has an international effect as well. Nadia, you had your hand up. If you can just maybe jump in there.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One is, you know, we're talking about two different sectors as well. We're talking about private sector and your community conservation and that kind of stuff. And in terms of private sector, I think, you know, the guys that'll take some of the hardest knocks are the small to medium enterprises, the family-run businesses. You know, these guys are gonna take a serious knock. I agree that this whole thing has to be a massive wake-up call, not only in our own lives as to how and what we do with our money and how we live our lifestyles, but also within corporations and owners, because, you know, I hope to see that these excessive lifestyles that we you know live sort of reduce and people start looking at how to have less impact on our environment. But also, you know, a pandemic like this, people, because of living excessive lifestyles, can't pay their staff. And that's why we're seeing, you know, serious retrenchments and all the hits within the tourism business with their staff. In terms of local travel, and here I'm referring to promoting local travel through the small to medium privatized, privatized tourism facilities and activities. I mean, that's what we've got a gap for right now in the next 28 days. Hopefully we go on to stage 3 or whatever it is and things start to open up. But for the foreseeable future, that right now, to keep people kind of going and have a bit of income to keep their operations at some level of continuing, we've got 28 days. And what I'm seeing on the Facebook page is a lot of promoting reduced prices, and that's great. You know, a lot of people are also now put on half-time work, which, yes, affects our income, but also gives us a bit more time now to take an extended weekend and go to a lodge 200 kilometers away because it's cheaper, we can afford it. You know, and so there's something we need to bank in on over the next 28 days, is these promotions. I saw one establishment advertising saying pay what you can and dogs are invited, and I thought, geez, man, brilliant. So that kind of initiative is fantastic. I've just got really 2 more comments quickly. One thing is just going back. Several years ago, Namibia hosted the World Adventure Tourism Summit. And that was a big thing in promoting Namibia to be an adventure destination. And as much as we have our marketing on everything else and promoting our country in terms of our conservation ethics, you know, how much land is protected, our free range and free moving wildlife, I mean, this is exceptional. You don't find this in many other countries anymore. But we've got to go back, I almost think, read back on what came out of that Adventure Tourism Summit, because it's a huge thing. Only happens once a year, and I think we were the first African country to host it. And go back to that and how things were being marketed at that time, because I think it's fizzled out a bit. And, you know, coming in, like Michelle said, afterwards, in terms of promoting Namibia, I think the adventure side needs to be pushed as well, because the clientele that can afford to travel from international communities are definitely the more conservation, ecotourism related people, you know, want to have challenging experiences, want authentic and real experiences. So that was quickly that. And my last point, and this is something might be a little bit sensitive, but, you know, we've gone through a lot of outcries and activists regarding some of the conservation things that happen when it comes to certain, you know, human-wildlife conflict. And there was huge outcries last year where activists, even within Namibia and outside, were saying, don't come to Namibia because of, I don't know, one or other Harry the lion that got shot, or blah, blah, blah. We need to come together, all of us, to recognize that, you know, our conservation, our Ministry of Environment and Conservation and all those various stakeholders are actually doing a really good job. And we need to come together instead of against each other, because I have a certain ethic about wildlife. I mean, that's what everyone's coming here for, is wildlife. And we do need to kind of come together for that and sort of promote one another and support one another, and be careful of this activism stuff that we had last year. And I'm saying this predominantly because poaching is on the increase, not only with our wildlife, but private farms are seeing all the game poaching happening. That's bad media for us. We've got a drought. People lost their livestock. You know, we've got people who are losing their jobs. And so you're going to see the meat, just game meat trade alone is going to go up. And we need to make sure that we're all together on board as a united front instead of going back to some of the nitpicking that we've seen. That's me.
Thank you,
I
Nadia,
was just going to say
for
thanks,
that.
Nadia, for that input. I think Jens, while she was talking, you had your hand up to possibly just continue on that.
Yeah, Nadia, thanks very much. Prosper, thanks very much. I took some really great points from you and Ise and Michelle and what's up. What I really enjoy is that we have the opportunity now to join and stand together in this and really make a lot of positive impact worldwide. You must not forget that the people in the communities, the game guides, the game guards as well, are now in direct competition for marketing spend and tourism spend from, for instance, Brazil and Australia. So we are competing on the grassroots level against the well-funded and well-marketed PR campaigns of competing markets. Everybody is pretty much in the same predicament, and we have to do something. And what you said earlier is that it's so correct, is that when we come out of here, we have to be there in the forefront, and we can only do it if we collaborate. It's impossible to do it individually like we have done it. And I think this platform this afternoon is just evident that this is the way to go forward. So what we as the Travel Channel are offering, there are two things from the local. I always feel that we need to link our local tourism globally with the technology that we have at our disposal. So we've formed a Travel Channel with the idea of, as a marketing platform, a combined and consolidated marketing platform for everybody in Namibia, where we can channel our products, whatever they are, our philosophies and our engagement from, again, grassroots level, meaning that the game guards and the wildlife conservation, but also bigger lodges, to a global, and we really have to look at it, a global worldwide market. And we have to be there with the quality and with the positivity that, as we say, hier skriks vir niks. So what we need to have a hook, and we have the country already as the biggest interest puller per se. So then we need to show them what we have on offer. We need to engage the viewers with really good, there's so many production houses that have very, very good videos and very good video material. Don't forget, video is the marketing tool of the future. Everybody is engaged with video, but it has to be smart, it has to be really funky, and it has to be relevant to what we do. So on the Travel Channel, basically how it works is that we channel and we market Namibia as a whole. So everybody who is involved in tourism, may it be community driven, may it be conservation driven, and we focus on conservation because they have as Nadia was mentioning earlier, we have our earlier or more prominent problems with poaching, etc. But we need to focus on the positive, and there's so much positive messages to be put out. We want to also offer, so how this works is that we want to engage everybody who is in tourism, local tourism, with the opportunity to have, if you have a video that is in your existence, if you have produced it, you can put it on our channel. We will not charge you anything. We will in fact just 2 months after the tourism sector is open, then we can go into a conscription where you say, look, I want to have my videos on your channel and your website for a period of a year. But for now, I want everybody to be on the channel, have that opportunity to be on there for free. The other thing is, if you don't have a video of your lodge, if you don't have a video of your farm, then we have a production team that will do it for you. And this is what we offer as a travel channel. So we're going again as a global link between Namibia and the traveler that we want to get in here. So these are the initiatives that collaborate, and it only works on collaboration. And I hope that everybody will take this further. We'll also collaborate a bit very closer with local tourism. Lekker is, what's local? Local is Lekker. Local tourism is Lekker. So that needs to be spoken about in future. But these are the opportunities that we have with technology.
Thank you very much,
Thanks so
Jens.
much,
I think
Jens.
that will help what we are planning. It fits in perfectly with that. One thing we are missing is music.
Why is everybody looking at me? I can feel the tensions like this. No, yeah, well, music, you can see people all over the world now standing on their balcony making music. I just had a live stream concert last week, Thursday, with my band, streaming into the world because, yeah, that's the only way of reaching people nowadays. Music is very powerful. Do not forget that, especially now, because people always say there's essential needs like toilet paper and what, but music is also a very essential need for the human well-being and happiness. And you will know when you play a good song, when you play a bad song, how it makes you feel. So yes, it's very strong. Content is king, definitely, Jens. That is very powerful. But if everybody does their own small video of their lodge or their farm, we will not get anywhere, in my opinion, because it's in my opinion, the best way is to get something which is so powerful, called a viral hit, a viral video. I still remember back the videos we did with Trump and it's Up to Us campaign. These videos, they just went viral with millions and millions of views worldwide. And those are the ones which I am personally thinking of to push. But these can only be done if we really all work together. Not everybody does their own thing. Because if we have a platform where we can put up all the stuff, it's very good. But who will go there? Because there's so much media and so much content out there. Everybody with a smartphone can make a video nowadays. But the one that will really go viral is the one that is thought through and is so tent polling wise on point that it will just impact. Now imagine we would all come together. It's always talking come together, but if we would all come together with all our social media accounts in all of the lodges, say we have 50 to 70 social media accounts, we cross-link them. Rupesh, you will know what I'm talking about also. Yes. We cross-link them, we make one video and we take that video and every page shares that video. And every page takes, I don't know, 500 Namibian dollars, boosts that video. So then all focus will be put from all these social media accounts onto one single video. And it won't be about one lodge, or it will just be about Namibia itself. And it will just talk about how amazing Namibia is, so that when people see it, they say like, wait a minute, where is Namibia? Because I've not seen something this beautiful. And then that's how you get a video to go viral. Because if you boost it and you push it from 60, 70, say 100 platforms and put in some money, it will cost a little bit of money, but 500,000 Namibian dollars is nothing in the industry of tourism. Then once it reaches 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 views, that's when the video is cleverly done. That's how it then goes into a viral status. And once it's there, you don't have to push anything. People will just share it, and it will automatically get into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million views. I personally have experienced this already, and it's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible, and especially possible if we really do work together. And music obviously is a big factor as well.
Have you planned any album or anything positive for Namibia?
The whole Corona messed up my whole system so much that my new album, my cinema movie, which was supposed to come out this European summer, everything is so demacare that I first have to stand on 2 legs again, but it's slowly starting to happen. I just needed some inspiration. It's always like this. If I see this, if it's just me, I don't think that inspiration will come very quickly. But if it's more of us come together, I think then we can go somewhere.
Let me ask you this: Do you need some Namibian videos or clips from people who are watching this and around the country to help you make the video?
Please, pictures, anything.
Okay, so Prosper, I see you've got your hand up. We'll get to that now. It's just to add on, and I wanted to literally, we'll get to that now. But what's important to realize is that's exactly the direction about why local tourism is Lekker was born and how it is actually developing. So 2 comments. One, the fact that a lot of people are thinking local tourism is Lekker is based solely and purely only on Namibians traveling within Namibia. No, that is one portion and division of what this group is about, because it's collectively supporting and promoting a country. There's always the negative Nelly that will jump in and say, yeah, but why now? We all are used to that, but those are the type of people we actually just don't concentrate on. We have 2 sectors. One, those that are able to, because we know not all are, but those that are able to travel locally, go and support your local tourism, have some fun, you can now. Secondly, collectively get people, whether it's Jens, whether it's you with music, whether it's everybody together, basically spreading one word and one message out there. That is primarily what one of the biggest things is about, how this all came together. And it's communication. The biggest thing here is communication. You just said, can we get some pictures and some videos and whatever the case might be? That's what we're for there, because if we can get all of those guys, and I think in Rupesh, we've got 4,000 or 5,000 members now, get something together and send it to Jens. Jens can combine it and send it to Ease, and Michelle can use it in America, and the other Michelle can use it in the UK. And this way we go viral. And that's what we need to do, because nobody has all the answers about what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, and when it's going to happen, but we spread the word. So I've got Prosper, you with your hand up first. Let's just limit that to about 2 minutes. And then I've seen Nadia has got her hand up as well. Go.
Okay.
Just before Prosper, just a second. Ace, if you just look on top of me, can you see there's an inspiration already over there? So start from
Okay, Prosper, go quickly.
Okay, good. Sorry, I was just writing notes. So guys, don't be offended by the fact that my face is facing a little bit down. I don't want to miss any points here. All right, so Jens, thank you very much for that initiative. And it's something very practical. And one of the points I noted down here is, and I've said this before on this platform, that we have to become more and more practical. We cannot be coming here back week in, week out, and we talk and talk and talk and talk, and we're not actually getting anything done. And that leads me to agreeing with what he says, that we can't have everybody doing their own things, because then we lose that inclusivity message that we're trying to send out. So I think I agree with that. Let's have, one powerful video, and it mustn't be long, or it can even be done in 2 parts, in my opinion. You can have, and you can also give input on this one. We can have something that's like a teaser, which kind of makes people wonder how much more is there? And then maybe, after a little bit, maybe a week or 2 or whatever, then release like another video. So you do kind of like this whole video in portions, where you build it up, you build anticipation, you keep people curious. And by the time you release the actual thing, they are so ready that they're not going to be looking for any negatives. And, did they film it right? Do they give us all the facts? They will just be like, why can this video just come, And I want to add on to the video idea and say that I saw a video that was done in Orlando, Florida, right, by churches in that area. They decided, the musicians from each church, they just took one person, right, and they recorded one song together at the same time. And they had these little boxes of live videos going at the same time, people singing the same song. And it looked and sounded amazing. I don't know how they got the cross-linking, and I don't know the details. I'm not, into arts and that kind of maybe Rupesh would know, but it just looked so amazing. And so the idea that I got from that is, if we can figure out a way to tell our story in that way, where it's not one person's voice narrating in the background, oh, this is great, Namibia, and so on and so forth, and then we can maybe have different voices with the same message, all put together. I think we can later go into the details of how we want this video to look like. but I think it's important that we get it out as one thing. So yeah, I think for this one we would kind of look up to the people that have done this before, and that would probably be Jens and Ease and maybe a couple of guys on this platform, for you guys to really give us ideas and take the lead on this one. We are here to support you in the best way we possibly can, and I think that everybody here would echo the same. You know, just tell us what we got to do, and then we can get it done. I think it's a great idea, and it deserves a follow-up.
Will we get 100 Namibian tourism countries to push this video? If we don't get that, then it's because viral videos are very difficult.
That's my point.
Ease, you said, can we get 100 companies?
Yeah, 100 tourism companies to join in and say, listen, we will all push this. We will get Rupesh and myself will connect and make a internal WhatsApp group or whatever. And then just because viral videos are very difficult. I would only say we do one video, because the whole story of doing teasers in this day and age, teasers, in my opinion, do not work so well anymore, because they want it right now. What is it? I want to see it now. Nobody wants to wait a week. So everybody wants to just be inspired right now. I think also the video idea is very clever, where you get different Namibians to do something together. If it must be something which has not been out there yet. If we do something like South Africa, where 1,000 people sing the national anthem, great, but it needs to be so different that people actually share it who don't even know where Namibia is and what Namibia is, but have heard it for the first time. We need that call to action needs to work so well that it gets reshared. That's the only way you get a video viral, because yeah, it's not easy, but it's possible.
Do you mind if I
One message? Yeah.
Yes,
please.
go for it, Michelle, please.
Okay, so from the perspective of being in the media for many years and hearing what Jens had to say, and Ease as well, and all of you that have knowledge of this, you know, marketing in that way is, I've always found that, and being a motivational speaker for many years, that a narrative and a story is really powerful when you get in front of an audience. And what I've been doing with Africa's Finest Safaris here in America is I'm not only working with tour operators and agents here, but I do talks to large groups like Rotary groups and people with a lot of disposable income. And when I have a story and a narrative, and I show pictures of the different communities in Namibia and their traditions and their music and their dancing, I inspire people to want to travel. So these visuals and the music, as is so important, but the story is so important about Namibia. We have such a unique country with unique, diverse cultures and groups. And I'd love to be a part of this project, because traveling throughout Namibia and getting those visuals and being able to, you know, make it everything in terms of how that is very short, as you say, a very short, tight promotional video. Like I must say, Adventures Media did a fantastic video on Namibia, and it actually got a accreditation for worldwide best video for that week. So well done, Namibia, and well done to Ventures Media, because we are able to do that and get that kind of reaction. But as you say, we need to work on that message and those stories.
Yeah, it's very. Can I just add something that I left out?
Just when before Prosper,
we've got Nadia's raised her hand.
We've got Nadia's hand that's been raised for a while, so let's just quickly get her to answer, to get her comment in there, especially on the company's part as well.
Okay, so very, very quickly, one is the, you know, coming together. Who is the we? The we is not the people on this forum. The we is the people listening. And so, you know, we can have all these chats and conversations, but if the private sector and especially the small to medium enterprises, if they don't, you know, go straight from this conversation and get, one of the things I said on the page in a comment was put together packages with each other, offer a package. If there's 3 or 4, you know, lodges or campsites or whatever within an area that are affordable to the local market at the moment, you know, that would be appealing to me is a package, and I could travel from one to the other. And if I go to these 4 lodges, I get a good deal because they've joined up together. So the we really has to be everyone in the business. You know, and that's also, we can delegate certain things, like you guys are talking about viral videos and big media stuff. You know, we've got associations, we've got, you know, different groups and networks that have certain skills. So some of the other stuff, sure, delegate to those people. But the we have to start talking with one another now. And again, I mean, we're looking at, you know, I'm going to say the next 28 days, and then after that, it's still another 28 days, and our borders, who knows? I mean, we might go into lockdown again. So we're not looking at serious international travel till probably next year. And in the meantime, the market right now is your local market, and how are you going to attract them? Are you investigating what their current situation is? We've got families who have to homeschool children. You know, can you offer something that can fit that in? Like I said, the pay cuts, but also we've got a bit of extra time. So I just think, I think these small to medium enterprises in particular need to look into how to market what they have right now that is in line with the local market and what's appealing. Because I look through things and I go, I don't really see anything that appeals to me at this place and activity as a local Namibian. You know, so what can they do different to market?
Well, I think this is exactly where the travel channel has the value, Nadia, and I think this is where we, as you know, the smaller farms that just have a retreat or who just want to have a little bit of an adventure, there you can go mountain biking, whatever. We don't know about them in the scale that they actually exist. And regarding the video, for us as a whole, I think it's a splendid idea, and I think it will be a really fun but important project. For us, however, we need to have consistency. It's not just one video that video needs to be, you know, that needs to be the sort of vanguard of many, many more. So we have a project that we will release probably in 2 months' time. That's going to be quite a big one that sort of falls in with that very much. But I think a video of that magnitude can be done as a collaboration, and I'm really willing to assist and help wherever we can with my resources and the teams that I am linked with. But we need to have a consistent message after this so that we can help the local tourism in the long run. We can't fix the local tourism in the next 2 to 3 weeks, 2 months. It's going to be for the next 3 years, and we're competing against world players, really big marketing teams. So it's almost a 360 marketing approach that we need to take in. All resources, everybody has all decks on hand right now, please, because we need to get this message across.
Yeah. Absolute fact.
Thank you. I think John had his hand up.
Prosper as well. And then just as a short note, interlude there, what collectively is being said now is, and this is what local tourism is about, is we are being made aware of all of these people. So Nadia, when you say there might be a place that you saw where you think, yes, it might not be for me or whatever the case might be, Jens, you again said, some of these places that we didn't even know about, but they're suddenly joining local tourism is Lekker. Yeah. And that's one of the awesomest things, because it's creating automatic awareness, and those willing to take the time and actually grab this project, like all of us, I'm sure all of us are definitely eager and will get involved with this. They then have the opportunity to expose these niche things and these little snippets of Namibia that will just make the message so much more stronger when it eventually gets sent out. Rupesh,
quickly on that, if you don't mind. You know, where I'm coming from is I've got my birthday coming up at the end of the month, and I'm keen to go somewhere. And John, I've never been in a hot air balloon, so I'm checking you out very strongly. What you're offering there, John?
I think Prosper, I know you were first, but let John go now, because I think he's also got, especially with the homeschooling part, there was something that we spoke about last week that's very important that needs to come up here as well. So
yeah, it's basically what we're all saying, just in terms of they're putting everybody together, joining the tour guides, the tour operators, how they're going to fit in the local is like one of the points brought up was that, well, people are just going to book directly. So, where do I fall in? Where as a tour guide do I fall in? Where as a tour agent or operator? What do I do? I think that we do have seasoned local tourists that go out all the time. They know all the little spots in Kawakaveld or wherever. They do that themselves anyway. We don't have to look after them because they know what they're doing. But there's another market that doesn't know their country well enough or doesn't know how to get to these little small niche places like we mentioned. So perhaps bring in these packages like Nadia mentioned, where you bring in a tour guide or initially start off with the itinerary. An agent makes an itinerary for a local.
Yeah.
So, something short and says, okay, and then brings in a tour guide. Tour guide can then use his skills to basically teach the local tourists, take him around the different roads that we normally don't use, and basically explore those places without having to drive themselves and actually being taken with a guide. Obviously, then once they get to the accommodation, they have the activities, all kind of plays into one. One of the points about this is that, okay, we all have to agree we're not going to make crazy money, or we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to keep everything alive. We're just trying to keep the local tourism, especially the short term. We're just trying to keep this surviving, and we can put everybody together then and make these packages. I think everybody will win. One of the points I mentioned last week was some tour guides, and I'm sure I can be corrected by some of the, they would even love just to get out of where they are right now, out of this situation where they normally are on the road. And I think there would also be a kind of giving back to the community, saying, well, look, let me take a family out that has never gone out of Windhoek or only been to Sokkelmund or only been down to the south or whatever. Take them to some really special places, that they've never heard about. And as a tour guide, I know how to get there. I know if we have a puncture or whatever, I know what to do. So take care of them and really treat them like you treat your international tourists, and give them that package, obviously at the best rate possible. And then the other thing that I was thinking about, obviously all these things have their pros and cons, and we can all sit down and suss them out, was educational programs. Our schools are down now, universities are down, but we have a lot of students that would likely be taken on a bus, also with a tour guide and one of the teachers as a tour leader or whatever, and been taken around to places. And for example, you have university students that are studying aviation and say, okay, look, hey, let's go do a tour and do maybe get skydiving, hot air ballooning, scenic flight with a tail drag or whatever. This is an example. Or even the younger kids, not too young, depending on the area. Obviously, this can all be thought about different ideas, but including educational programs for our local educational systems. That was basically my input on that.
Okay, thank you very much, John. Anyone else who wants to speak about that? In terms of education, conservation, anything?
Somebody's breaking into somebody's house. The dogs are barking.
Yeah.
It's probably my dogs.
I wanted to comment on the education part, John. That is really, really vital. Is that our new generation coming up, they need to experience our country, to be able to promote it and have a pride for it. On all levels. I've seen throughout the background of my foundation and all the projects we've done around the country. So education, but experiential education, understanding why Namibia is the way it is, why we don't have water, what to do if we don't have water, how the communities, can benefit and work together. So education is really, really important. And I think if we do focus on that, we're preparing our next generation to be the great leaders and the wise leaders that we need.
Yeah, Michelle, I'm just with you on that. The people who know me know that I come from education, and obviously my whole drive behind the Travel Channel Namibia obviously has a very strong educational element in it. And it is something that is really going and running parallel to the marketing side. It's very important because this is how you can, as you said, you can immerse and you can engage and involve people in the essence of Namibia as a tourist and conservation travel destination. So definitely there will be a very, very strong and consistent message going out over the next couple of years in that respect, and also working together with various people, the researchers, the people on the ground, sharing that inherent and indigenous knowledge with the world. I think it's going to be so tremendous for travelers coming in future, and that needs to be marketed well and handled very well.
Thank you very much. Michelle, would you like to say something about that?
Which Michelle are you referring to?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was my dog. It was my dogs that were barking, so I didn't want to turn on the mic.
Just let me come in quickly.
Yes,
there's
Joseph.
who has a hand raised for a very long time. Sorry, Michelle, to cut you through, but can we hear from Emiliano, please? And then we'll go to Michelle afterwards.
Yes, thank you. What I want to say, it's very interesting what you said about education, and I was thinking about a project or something like that to use Guide, which at the moment they are basically unemployed, to run a program like this, to use Guide to educate young generation, maybe at school, with videos or whatsoever, if they had the facility, Zoom like this, or videos, or anything that is feasible according to the potential of the school. That can be a very good idea. And I think, of course, Tour Guide Association of Namibia, and I think also my friend Joe, they also in that, if we can start something like that.
Thank you, Emiliano. Michelle, could we have your thought, please? Michelle McLean, please.
Hi. Yeah, I did speak after, I think it was, who spoke there? Was it John?
Okay.
Yeah, I just mentioned the fact that education is really, really important, that our children and the new leaders of our country experience Namibia on a level where they can feel pride and they can promote Namibia and understand why Namibia is the way it is. So I mentioned that before, and I just think that's vitally important, that there's an experiential part. So education, getting the kids out of the schools, understanding the different cultures will bring a much more coercive environment, I think, in Namibia in the future.
The big thing about education at this point in time in our country is to realize as well that our schools definitely are at this point still closed until August. Everybody else is doing online teaching. So there lies, and the reason specifically why I'm mentioning that is that there lies a golden opportunity within that time. So when we enter our next phase in terms of travel, where the restrictions of not having too many people within the cars is lifted as well, then we're going to have a golden opportunity to speak to all the schools and possibly get some activities in that regard, because the kids are not going to be able to attend school, but with limited smaller groups, definitely do something like that. So my suggestion on that, especially with those, is that we maybe note it as one of the vital points to look at as well, especially with the next phase, and put it up as an agenda point to see. John, you've got some ideas on that, possibly on how to incorporate and what to do, possibly maybe a little thing close to Swakop. I don't know, there are a couple of schools, Windhoek, Bunny, I mean, from your side there, who knows? And because somehow we've got about 28 days now to put that together. Michelle, if you've got some thoughts on that you can mail through to us, what you think maybe will be vital towards looking at and getting a collective message out there, putting that together, yes, we are going to be entering a phase where this is possible, and then the kids are still going to have, I think it's another 28 days or another phase or whatever, where they're not going to be able to attend school. So from my point of view, and also from, I know my children especially, there where they can get out, they are as happy as can be. So it's definitely something that will work and will help the Namibian education system and kids especially.
It feels like we are saving the whole world right now.
That's nice.
There's so many things like tour guides and then education and then marketing Namibia. I'm like, I'm a bit lost. Sorry, man. Yeah, so, phew. This is happy.
I think this is what it's about. It's coming together and finding solutions.
No, it's, no bad feelings, nothing. I'm just,
no,
I'm just
absolutely,
speaking my emotions, and this is my first ever Zoom shandy. So I'm experiencing this for the first time. So yeah, no, it's all good.
That is exactly what this is about. Prosper, you have your hand up. Sorry, I know I've been ignoring you now, but it's not on purpose. It's just the direction we sometimes go. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like it's something personal. Oh, I'm joking.
Don't worry, I still like you, brother. I still like you.
Look, I understand, guys. We've got Michelle here today. And to be more specific, Michelle McLean. I think you guys are a bit distracted. I can understand. It's okay. All right. What I wanted to add is, sorry.
Your hat is very, very discombobulating.
Oh man. Good comeback, Michelle. Good comeback. All right, guys. I was gonna add on that local tourism is Lekker, the name of the group, right? Or this initiative. Earlier, Heiko, you touched on how it's not just about local tourism, but you're also gonna see how this can go regionally and internationally, to my understanding. Yeah.
Yes, to more specifically, not only selling local tourism, but creating a communication platform to, whether from locally towards international levels, spread the word of Namibia and get that powerful message out there, and also within our country, of course.
Okay. All right. Because is my mic on? Okay. Seems like it's on now. Because what came to mind when you mentioned that is the name of the platform, especially on Facebook or even as the initiative grows, is not communicating that motive or objective. So I think that it's something that as the initiators, you could maybe think about to see, because the name local tourism is Lekker immediately communicates that we're focusing on Namibian local tourism. This is a local initiative. It stays in Namibia. If we're gonna wanna take this initiative out and grow it bigger, as you say, the name might have to change. Maybe to tourism or Namibian tourism is Lekker. I'm just throwing ideas out. I'm not suggesting a name change immediately, but I'm saying that if the objectives they have to line up with what the name of the platform is and the branding and all of these things. I think it's all part of marketing fundamentals that, you know, you've got some form of a correlation with what you're sending out. So that came to mind earlier, and I just wanted to bring it up to you guys that it's something that you may want to think about. If your objectives are for local tourism, you keep it local tourism, and that's it. If the objective is to then grow or create a communication channel, that you figure that out. And then I have a few other suggestions, which is that
Prosper, I'm just going to answer you on that specifically. Here's a very pertinent point. Most of us on this group now, even if we're getting insights from abroad, but most of us, and actually all of us, are Namibians in tourism. That's the most important thing to realize. That's why it's called local tourism is Lekker. So like I said earlier, we've got two divisions. One, we're actually sharing local tourism opportunities for people to travel within Namibia. But more importantly, we're promoting local tourism so that there has been mention on this group and platform as well. There have been people that throughout the name, literally by only seeing the name, have been able to actually share their services, their possibilities, their destinations, their properties, and so on that group. And that stems from the reasoning behind why it is called local tourism is Lekker. Remember, the message that we're going to be sharing with the world is going to be spreading out towards actually then sectors where we can share it. Together with other platforms, Finata, NTB, all the other associations, marketing tools, all the operators, all the destinations. He's mentioned one message, one word, all platforms. My company will already support, our associations will support, everything like that. And that's then every single person sharing that message, not the association or this group called Local Tourism is Lekker. So it locks out the people, it invites the people to actually come and join, it allows them that opportunity, makes it attractive for them to say, oh, well, local tourism is lekker, let's share my stuff into there as well. And from that, we can collectively get information together to spread the word out better. And that's why this name is so important and must stay exactly the way it is. I hope that makes a bit better sense about why we're calling it Local Tourism is Lekker. Ease, hast du vielleicht noch was dazu? Auch was mit Local is Lekker? I know we touched on that as well sometime, just so that...
Ich muss ehrlich sein. Okay, sorry, I must be honest. I was also confused about local tourism is lekker, because that sounds to me like it's local tourism, which is nice and it's normal. And for this phase, I think local tourism is good, because even people in Windhoek and Swakop and Walvis, they're also locked in their houses. So as soon as that gate opens, they will go out and go to lodges, and lodges will, and hotels, whatever, will give them good prices. So it's just a normal, natural curve, I would say. But when this phase is over and people look at their bank accounts again and see that the Namibian economy is not that strong and business not going, they will also not go out to a lodge every second weekend. Maybe they'll camp, whatever. So I think that phase will also die down. So my focus has always been, how can I, like Michelle said, how can I tell my Namibian story and promote Namibia through my music, my videos, my everything? How can I make Namibia as exciting as I always like to use the example of how Bob Marley made Jamaica so exciting to go there through his music, and obviously Mary Jane and stuff like that. So we must start smoking Welwitschia or aloe vera, so we also get some more inspirational people there. Just a joke on the side. That's always been my promotion style, and I think it only works, like I said, if we work together. This is my first Zoom meeting, so I'm experiencing the whole brainstorming, which is nice. But I'm also a person who likes to get going, and I want to come up with an idea, and I just want to put all energy into that idea, and I don't want this to just be something that we talked about and was nice and we all got to know each other even more, but then everybody just does their own thing. Because I've noticed Namibia is such a small country. When you are out and in again, it's so small, but people still don't want to work together, because they think, okay, if I work together with them, they will benefit from me. But actually, Namibia is the best place to work together, because we are so small. We all know each other, and we can all work together, which is so strong. Let's do that. Let's come up with an idea and push. Yeah.
No, Ease on that. Like we started this group a month and a half ago, just generally chatting, myself, Yvonne, and in the evening we started chatting. Let's make a local Lekker group, and within I think 6 days we have 3,000 members, without any advertising, and good discussions and all. And from there it has just grown. We talked about, like you did your first webinar, I did one 3 weeks ago in the morning, and by evening I was like, okay, let me do a tourism one. Because it gives you the confidence in doing it. And I think this is why people want to see each other and talk to people like yourself and Michelle, and know that everybody's approachable, everybody is on the right mindset. And our focus is Namibia, not just tourism, but through tourism, how we can reach other communities, conservancies, everything. But the only way we can reach is tourism. Earlier, we used to have the tour guides, the tour vehicles, safari vehicles going everywhere, which made it easy to distribute food and blankets and whatever it was to the communities, which we don't have now. We're not going to have it for a while. So we need Namibians to now take this stuff. We'll have winter nights for Roundtable, for example. We collected, I think it was 600,000 worth of blankets, or $600,000. But now we will struggle to give the blankets out in June, to the community. So this is where everybody has to come together and, look at what we can do. Not who it's benefiting. It has to benefit the guy who needs it. That's it.
Yeah, it's just so many topics. It's so many topics that it's difficult to focus on one thing, because we have, I don't know, 10, 12 people in this group, and everybody has their own agenda. But how do we get together to move in the right direction?
Well, this is being live broadcast on Facebook. We've got other hundreds of people watching, and we'll watch it again. Maybe
I didn't put on makeup.
I was about to say. You know,
the only makeup you need is a braai and some
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So, I mean, that's why people are looking back at the videos, reviewing them again and getting some inspiration, and they're doing it. We don't have to do everything, but we just have to talk about it. So they get inspired and they do it. We just focus on what we're doing, is keeping them motivated, keeping their morals high. That's it.
Okay.
Important part of the process. This is an important part to get everybody to start the conversation, get the energy going. So I commend you. I'm sorry I have to run now. I've got another meeting.
No problem. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Michelle. It was awesome having you. And I'll let you know when we do the next one if you still want to join again.
Of course. I would be horrified if you invite me. Thank you to everybody out there.
Thank you very much.
For all your
Thank
positive.
you, Michelle.
All of you. Cheers. Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
Michelle. Bye. Thanks for everything.
All right.
One nation.
Okay, we've got 3 hands up. Rupesh, help me out. You know, I miss these things always. Who was first? Who was not?
Okay, we can let Marie talk about it. She hasn't talked much yet.
No, I just wanted to say that I find it really awesome how we all get together and we have a positive spirit to make things go forward, not just for each of us as an individual or a tour operator or an accommodation place, but also to help with communities and to help with everything out there. And I think Namibia is really, really special in that way, where people take each other's hands and help and see, even in difficult times, we can still reach out to somebody else. And I really find it awesome. And I think that is the spirit we have to carry out there, to show people that we as Namibians stand together, we are awesome, and we will get through this no matter what.
Amen, Marie.
And then Stephanie.
I
Stephanie.
can see Stephanie raise her hands over there.
Yeah, sorry guys. I also need to excuse myself. It's been absolutely wonderful chatting with you, both locally and also all the way to Germany. Thank you very much. Hey.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Thanks,
Ciao.
Wow. Bye.
Nadia, I can see that your hands has been raised for a very, very long time.
Well, first of all, John, big ups on bringing local guides, you know, the individuals. I don't have anything to say about that on solutions going forward, but these are the guys that I think also we need to bring into the loop and how we can get these guys going again. So yeah, just props on bringing that up. In terms of a bit of marketing, again, for our small, medium enterprises, we were talking about packages. John, you brought up itineraries, and I'm just thinking here myself as the market. I do go onto the pages and I look at what's being offered. And just for the guys listening, you know, what I'm looking for is prices immediately, straight away. I want easy access. And if people are getting together and they're offering itineraries and packages, I want to be able to see that straight away. I'm flicking through Facebook. It's a social media platform that you go quick. And I don't always open up the link when I don't quite see how much is it going to cost me and what am I being offered, except in a few photos. So I just sort of wanted to put that out there. In terms of this forum, for this Facebook page, there's a couple of things I think are really cool to look at. One is, I don't know if you guys have heard of this Safari Wild or Wild Safaris. It's happening in Kruger. I watch it almost every morning, and it's live video, live feed, whatever, of a game drive. So it's in Kruger. They've got one in the morning and one in the afternoon. You join in and you watch a live video of guides on a game drive. They're filming it, and on like this forum, people who are watching can ask questions. So they do a lot of education. They stop at Spoor. It's fascinating. It's really cool. So I do that quite often. The other one is the Environmental Wildlife Trust. This is an NGO. What they've been doing is every week they've got 3 presentations from researchers, anybody on an interesting topic. So you join in on their website. You get a ping the day before to say this is we're going to have so and so presenting on such and such. Do you want to join? Join. I get my password, whatever, Zoom, and you sit and you listen to a 20-minute presentation, and you can do question and answer after that. And I think maybe this is where some of our local guides could come in when you're talking about education and stuff like that. You know, to sit at home and do something like that, to get your own name out. You know, a lot of us think we know a lot about wildlife ecology and biology and behavior, but actually there's a lot we can learn from other people. And also then about different areas. And I think that this is something that would be really cool to see on this forum, is getting some actual speakers. And then the last thing I'm going to bring up quickly, and then I'm going to shut up, is just to let people know what's happening in the community-based conservation sector. We have recently been issued permits as an essential service by the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, which means that a lot of us that work in the field with conservation, particularly human-wildlife conflict and anti-poaching, we were all grounded during this lockdown. We weren't allowed to get out into the field. So the rangers have been sitting idle, the guys that need our help, and that's become a priority. So we've been given our permits as essential services. I just want to let you guys know, and the big priority of our activities now in the communities we work in is human-wildlife conflict and also anti-poaching, because our local rangers don't have vehicles, don't have access. I mean, the conservancies aren't getting money, they can't pay guys, they don't have food. So, you know, big ups again to the NGOs and the Ministry of Environment and Tourism recognizing us as important to get back out into the field. And make sure that on the ground, you know, things are happening with our wildlife.
Michelle? Nadia?
Yeah.
While
you're on that,
let me just cut you short. We have on Wednesday, we have another webinar where we have invited all the conservancy or people are involved in a conservancy. And I believe that if we can have you on Wednesday with the rest of the team, you can talk about the conservancy and then what is the way forward about the local community and all those other things, so that people out of the conservancy can be able to know exactly what is happening, if you don't mind.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Nadia, on that as well. Okay,
Joseph, I didn't quite get all of that, so maybe just message me again. I sort of heard bits and pieces, but get hold of me.
Yeah,
we will have another session on conservation on Wednesday evening, around Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock. And we'll have different conservation groups and, you know, just some people talking more, focusing on conservation, because that's something a lot of people want to discuss. So I will send you the invite and we can chat in detail on that.
I'll drop you a quick message as well. Everything that you've said up until now, I want you to, if it is in any way possible, summarize it for us, because we've had some interest from an overseas magazine that want to do an expose on Namibia. And one of the key points and questions was, how is it going with nature conservation? So please summarize that information. I'll send it through to you. I'll send my mail address through to you right now. And then you get that info through to me. So, yeah.
Quickly, because next week I'm out in the field and then I've got no access to anything.
No, we'll do it on Wednesday.
It's already there, yeah.
Yeah, Nadia, very, very interesting points that you made. And remember earlier I told you that we are busy on a big project, and it sort of relates exactly to what you have said. So hold on to your seat. I think we'll have some really interesting solutions in the next 3 to 4 months.
All right, if you all don't mind, yeah, I would just like to give pretty much my closing remarks and also excuse myself. It's been wonderful chatting with all of you, and it's always awesome. You know, one always learns a new thing with every chat. So I just wanted to conclude on what I was saying before we went a bit, not off track, but to other topics. And that is that with regards to local tourism's Lekker, I think it's a great initiative, and I'd like to advise that you know, the platform focuses on that, because with international tourism, I think that we've got the NTB running with that. I've seen a number of campaigns on Destination Namibia as well, which are already running on full on. And you could probably agree with me on this, that there are many initiatives, even in Germany, with the Namibia Tourism Board, with Destination Namibia, which are focusing on international tourism, creating communication platforms, creating marketing platforms. So I think that local tourism is Lekker can actually afford to have one main objective, which is local tourism is Lekker. And that's the point I was driving to before, again, like I said, before we went to other topics, that I do not see need for local tourism is Lekker to extend itself to an international platform for dialogue where Namibian international tourism is concerned. Don't take this as a call for you to stand down on the work you're doing. It's just that I'm just adding or I'm giving information on some of the things that are already happening, so that whatever we do, we are working together. You mentioned this earlier as well.
Sorry,
and
on that, Prosper,
that.
just on that point, sorry, I'm just interrupting you. On that point, we in the industry don't know what the 12 associations are doing themselves. Nobody knows what's happening,
Yeah,
who is doing what,
the thing is, Rupesh,
what
with
has
regards
been
to
happening.
that,
So, for us not to do it or do it, or, it's,
yeah,
it's
so
difficult for us to know
what I
what's
can
happening.
say,
Yes.
What I would advise is, if you don't know what's going on, consult then the people who are responsible.
I'm talking in behalf, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the whole Namibian tourism industry, the 5,000 members on the website, on the group. Nobody knows who is doing what. There's a random video that we share from NTB, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because everybody's communicating to the member. That's why we want to know what is everyone's role. The reason we posted that big poster today was to know, who is doing what. So people on the ground who are not into any associations, who don't know what's happening, let's consolidate at least for a few months and not worry about whose association is doing what, and get all the info out together, so we know who can focus on what.
As much as we want to consolidate and send one message out, the message we send out has to be united. It needs to be uniform, right? So because of that, I'm advising that they be communication.
Prosper,
right?
can I just jump in quickly?
Because
Prosper, can I just jump in?
Talking.
I know, but just where you say you need to unify all. You were just busy splitting between you were differentiating between local tourism in Lekker and the international market, and what the associations are planning or what they are after. What you must remember is that the local tourism is Lekker, is keeping tourism going at the moment, because there is no international travel. We will probably only see international travelers next year again. So to trivialize the whole effort is, I don't know if it's really fair.
What I'm saying is local tourism is Lekker is doing a great job, and that should continue going. As I said earlier, this is not a call for anybody to stand down. What I just wanted to add on was comments were made earlier about the objectives of local tourism is Lekker, and the lines were a bit blurry there. So I was coming from an angle of hoping that we can just keep those lines clear of what we're communicating, because let me take, for example, if one association goes and passes a message out there communicating one thing, then the Namibia Tourism Board comes up and does something else within the same focus or message, but then it's something totally different. We could easily confuse our customers. We could easily confuse our clients as well. So what I'm saying is this: local tourism is Lekker, as the name suggests, it's local tourism at home in Namibia, right? We focus on that, we grow on that, and we build it for what it is. But then if there is an aim or an objective, right, for the platform to then later go international, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm just saying is that then there can be communication between the people leading the initiative or this thing with people that are already working on something, which in this case would be the Namibia Tourism Board. The Namibia Tourism Board is not an association. They are mandated by the government, right, through Ministry of Environment and Tourism. They are very much responsible for destination marketing, right? But it doesn't mean that anybody else around the country cannot market the destination or cannot support them. Because at the end of the day, we are all supposed to work together. That's what this platform is about. We're trying to create a unified movement, isn't it? But for us to do it right, we need to also communicate right. We cannot say one thing, but then we're doing the other. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I'm saying that it's easy to pass on a message of, you know, that's what's going on when it's not what's going on. So if local tourism is Lekker, is for local tourism, then it stays that way. If I hope my point is clear on that.
No, but Prosper, on that, look, when we started the webinars and everything, we never said we got to focus on a certain aspect. We invited all the different associations. We've got Emiliano, we have had Maureen, Kita, you know, we've got everyone saying their opinions, because this is not an official platform, but we want people on the ground, because we've got so many thousands of members and people watching it. You know, this is what we want them to see, that everybody is on one platform or one place to talk about every issue we can, which is fine. And I don't think we will ever define what the group is about, because it's about a platform where everyone can share everything. And this is where we want all the 14, 15 associations to come in and say, you know what, somebody on the group is asking about A, B, and C. And you guys need to actually follow up on those platforms and say, okay, you know what, there are 20 guides who don't have a representation. You know, it should not be the guide's job or our job to tell the guides where to go for association. This should have been done years ago, because, I mean, we've got so many different associations. I mean, the list I have had, I couldn't find email addresses of half the associations. I couldn't find logos. I mean, you know, it's impossible. There's no consolidated data for people. So how can, you know, all the people on the ground, it's 110,000 Namibians who are directly affected by tourism. How can they know where to turn to? Okay, Ease has a quick question. Sorry.
Quickly, guys, because this is very new to me. So I also didn't know that there are so many associations, and this is exactly what I was talking about some time back. It's like, it's such a small country, and now we have so many groups. So this is the best. Let's all come together. Let's not care about who does what, when, how, and he's responsible for that, and he should do that. Let's just all work together. I have to bounce now, but I have one example I really want to talk about, which I think will help us all, is the way that I've been working together with Namibian Tourism Board in Germany has been a great way, because we come up with different projects, which are usually not normal projects, where we came off inviting social influencers, YouTube stars to Namibia to try and find a new market. And then, you know, this is how you collaborate two different markets, the social media market side and the tourism side, and you just bring that together. And I wish that in Namibia, we would focus more on using different platforms, even people that are not in the tourism industry, and bring them in so we can help them and get some win-win situations and stuff like that. So all I can say is, let's just work together, and no egos, everything aside. We have tough times coming up. Yeah, let's just work together. You guys, we are in a WhatsApp group. Please, if anybody, I am very available on Facebook, on my website, everything. If anybody has a cool idea, let me know. If I have a cool idea, I will get in touch, and we just get something going. Namibia is the most beautiful place in the world.
I'm going to cut in, Eric, before you go. I just want to say what you brought up about NTB and working with them. You know, I think what I'm getting out of this interesting debate right now is but we need to move away from the associations and NTB and NWR. You know, these guys actually do a very good job. And I think they do unify their marketing in Namibia. I don't think they're marketing different messages, and our associations, all of them, are also along the same lines, and they do market Namibia in a very unifying way. This platform is more about the layman and the individuals and what our thoughts are, you know, because the associations, what they market is on the basis of a bigger group of people. Whereas this is more about the individuals. And this is where we need to actually come together, not the associations and who's supposed to be doing what, and that doesn't matter. It's about this group of people. It's about the people who are involved in tourism directly, their jobs, their livelihoods, their staff, and what are they going to do and how are they coming together individually.
Definitely.
And on that, I would just like to agree with what Nadia has just said, because that's really the point I was making, that this platform is focusing on something, let me not use the word different, but it's focusing on, I like the word that you use, the layman, just, people coming together, sharing ideas and talking, but, most importantly, talking local tourism. Whereas when you look at then the work of the associations and the Namibia Tourism Board and the organizations which have been working to market Namibia and tourism in Namibia for the longest time, they are focusing on obviously on the bigger or the wider view, if I can put it like that, on destination marketing the whole country. Here, yes, we're talking about the whole country, but mainly for our local market, like how as local people, as Namibia, as a country, considering our borders are closed at the moment, how do we keep our tourism going? So what I was just coming to is just that, that the objectives remain clear, that we don't lose track of where this is going. I think that's really what I was just, coming through with. And this is based on the comments that were made earlier. But again, like I said, I am not going against anything we have done this far or that we've accomplished. I'm for it, and I think that this is a really great thing that we've got going on.
Okay, just on that,
Just to add there,
I don't know if Eric has time or not, because Emiliano, who is from Finata, might have a few words on that.
There we go. I was going to mention that exact same thing now.
Yeah, I was following. It's very interesting. We said for once in a while, I think we have to stay united. So stop talking about association and this and that. We have a goal. Tourism is Lekker is a good initiative for me. My opinion, it will not save all of us, but somebody can get benefited from the initiative. The next year, as it was, I think Nadia mentioned, we don't, in my opinion, we don't expect international tourists up to next year. And the major problem nowadays, even if we reopen, even if Europe, United States reopen, will be the flights. At this stage, I spoke with people from the IATA association, and the problem that they're facing now is the load capacity. I don't know if you know what load capacity is the number of people can be fitted in a plane. So basically they running on 50% load capacity. So for example, if up to February, January this year, 300 people can be fitted in a plane, from June, July, August, only 150 will be fitted in a plane. Can you imagine the repercussion on the price of the ticket? So basically what can happen and what is gonna happen, in my opinion, economy class will disappear. We're gonna get back to the old times when only very wealthy people were able to travel. And that's not my opinion. That's you can Google it, you can check it, and of course there are companies. I was impressed now by what's Emirates or Qatar, doesn't matter. They say they are doing tests on site to scan the people and check the people. It can help, but it will not solve the problem. For this reason, again, try to be one group, not to fight against each other, and help the economy in Namibia with such initiative like Tourism Lekker. Nrupesh mentioned that there was some problem contacting different entities, and it was always like that. What I tried to do, some people ask me why I'm sitting in different association. What I've tried, and I think I was quite successful, and Prosper, which is also here, can, of course, confirm that, is try to put together different associations to let them talk together. Let's say Tour Guide Association with TASA, which is representing, of course, tour operator, and with FENATA, which is also the umbrella association, which is representing the majority of what we call tourism nowadays. To be more proactive at this stage, I think we have to skip all of these, and meeting like the one that we are doing now is very productive and can help a lot. And that's it. Stop fighting again and create awareness of what is tourism in Namibia. And you know, I'm not gonna mention names and name and shame whatsoever, but I was really impressed and sad when I read, when was yesterday or the day before, a lodge owner who said, please come and visit me. You can decide whatever you want to pay. And it is only one word that I call desperation. That's a desperate person. And we all desperate at this moment. It's something new, something unpredictable. We guys, we're sitting at home. There's nothing. Tour operators the same. But tour operators are, you know, wishing that a solution can be found in the next month. I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. And
yes, yeah. Guys, sorry. Thank you very much for letting me also speak my mind. This group is I'm now broken virgin style. This was my first Zoom, so thank you very much. It was experience, and yeah, let's work together. Thank you very much,
all right,
guys.
Thanks a lot, Ease. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Ciao, man. Cheers.
Ciao.
Ciao. Marie, you had your hand up. And Emiliano, thank you for your insights there. But Marie had her hand up.
I just wanted to say I definitely agree with Emiliano. We have to focus at what is at stake here. You know, it's Namibia tourism, not just local, but also overseas and everything. And we have to put the past behind us. It's never going to be the same again. We have to focus on a new tomorrow and how we're going to do that. It's not going to be a you and me and this and that association. We have to stand together and make Namibia a destination for local and overseas people. And the only way we can do that is by putting the past behind us and looking how we can make this better and how to make this work in the new circumstances. Because I don't think for a long while it's going to be tourism as it was in the past. We have to change our mindsets and realize it's never going to be the same again, and find solutions how to make it work in the future. Yeah. That's basically it.
Marie, you just really put it together in one little small cup. Emiliano, thanks. It's a very sobering message that you put across there. But again, we need to have a positive solution. And I think what's so interesting about this initiative that we have here is that it's not only multidisciplinary in all its aspects, but also cross-generational. And this is where we use these new social media. We can use influencers and use this all a new approach, actually bringing Namibia to the people in the world. And although we're looking for some really immediate solutions for Namibia right now here in the next couple of months, I would say 6 to 8 months. However, we need to continue and join that as a two-pronged approach. You know, and this is exactly where I think a platform, a consolidated platform like the Namibia Travel Channel, where everything can be combined and we can take local tourism and local initiatives and local needs and desires, and also local stories in all its aspects, culture and conservation and so on, right out to the people who cannot afford to come right now, but then they want to have a platform where they can share the visuals, the videos and the experiences that we can offer them. So there's the positive message in this very, very dark and somber environment that Emiliano sort of sketched right now. That's the reality. But we need to now really be proactive to market and tell the stories going forward, because there will be a lot of people who wanted to come and they can never come, probably won't be able to come in the next couple of years. So we need to bring Namibia to them. That's my sort of major ambition.
Hence, just to how you guys collectively put it together now is exactly what this is about and why we are local is Lekker. It's literally every association, every person, everybody that can cross-share, be there for each other, share their information. This is what this is about. So we are not creating a directive. We are not creating a marketing strategy. We are not creating a specific message. We are creating a united message, and that puts us all into literal one basic thing. So that is basically the important thing to take from this is not to focus only on who all is part of what, but the united front we are trying to put together, and just not forget that. Otherwise, we will have misunderstandings, and that we want to, of course, avoid at all costs. I just want to, what I was trying to share, but Rupesh thankfully saved me from my own embarrassment. There's a Namibia Tourism Association's file that was just shared into the comments. If you download that and you actually see how we are all connected and how the associations are connected, and then that ripple effect from there, how it goes onwards, associations, their members, everything. So all that can be combined under one umbrella and realized about how we are actually in this together. And it's just, remember, I said it right in the beginning, I think in one of our first chats, it's with the community, it's the whole tourism community, with the community, for the community. And that's the only way we move forward. So any and all information.
If I can say, I want to thank also Rupesh for his job. It's quite simple and easy to understand. So some people that who doesn't understand who was who and who is doing what can have an idea now. Thanks, Rupesh. Really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. I know there are a lot of people watching. If you have some info that needs to be changed, please let me know as well.
Yeah, sure.
Because
it's a good start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is where we need to continue. So last 2 weeks ago, we had a couple of guides who didn't know who could represent them. And I think that's where we started. So at least we could, help them and then help a lot of other guides, because we are not sure when they need assistance or where they might need more clients coming from. I mean, somebody also mentioned there's no database of local guides or freelance guides in Namibia, which is also something we need to look at. But anyway, I think it's already an hour and a half. Does anyone have anything else to say on this?
Happy so far.
Okay.
So
Hello?
let's say goodbye and try it again next time. Maybe in a week's time, we can come together with some more ideas and more brainstorming. Thank you guys, and ciao, ciao.
Okay,
All right.
thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you, but we'll do another one on conservation on Wednesday. I'll send out the dates, and whoever wants to join, Emiliano, Prosper, anyone who wants to join, more than welcome to. And then, all right, perfect, cool. Enjoy the week, guys. Tomorrow is the first day of freedom.
Yeah, well.
All right, cheers.
Don't miss tomorrow.
All right.